This is the Dallas Cowboys Report by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey, and today's show is powered by Aura, an all-in-one digital safety tool that we'll tell you more about in depth later on in today's show. It's a pretty damn good offer they're throwing your way as well, so make sure you stay tuned for that. We're going to begin, though, with Ezekiel Elliott conversation. As Dallas Morning News' Michael Gelkin reports, the Cowboys are going to look at Zeke's contract after the season. Now, there's a couple different routes that could go, from a release to a trade if they get lucky to potentially a restructure. What the Cowboys have done this offseason, as we'll get into more in depth, is put Zeke Elliott in the Amari Cooper, DeMarcus Lawrence bucket from last year, where they're going to have the contract what it is for now, it would appear, and then revisit it after this season ends. Now, here's what Stephen Jones had to say not that long ago about Zeke in particular and why they looked at running backs in the draft. What's this roster going to look like 2 or 3 years from now in terms of who will be on it, Stephen Jones said. We looked at a couple backs, because Pollard's going to be free next year. Rico's going to be restricted, and Zeke's making a lot of money. All those things come into play. Catboy mentioned the money, folks. That's not a great sign if you are on Team Zeke in terms of him sticking around on this organization beyond just this upcoming year. The contract, fair or not, is always a problem within the Cowboys organization. Zeke has a massive cap hit this year. $18.22 million, I believe the largest cap hit in the NFL. It's so large in part because the Cowboys have consistently restructured his deals to keep the cap hits low early on. Now they are not, putting themselves into this situation that we'll go more in depth on here in a little bit for next year. The Cowboys in 2023 have an out on Zeke's contract. It doesn't make sense to cut him right now, but by not restructuring this year and bringing the cap hit down, they are preserving some cap savings in the event they want to move on next year. That option, that potential out in the deal exists in 2023. So the Cowboys, unless they restructure Zeke's deal, which would be a bit of a surprise right now, do have the flexibility to potentially make this Elliott's last year as a member of the Cowboys organization. Now, there's an entire year of football still to be played. I get all of that. We'll spend some time on Zeke and his numbers in a little bit, but I want you to make the prediction before we get too far into Elliott here. Is this Zeke's last year with the Dallas Cowboys? Y for yes or N for no? This is the pinned comment on today's video, so if you get the ad break here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know what your prediction is. Now, we mentioned the outs next year. This falls into what I mentioned, the Amari Cooper, Tank Lawrence bucket. They could restructure a player like they did with Tank and keep Zeke around at a lower cap hit. They could cut him as well. The cut savings, the trade savings, are identical. If the Cowboys release or trade Zeke before June 1st, they save $4.86 million. If they make him a post-June 1st cut, or trade a cut more likely there, they save $10.9 million. Regardless, there's $11.86 million in dead money. It just depends on how they spread that cap hit out, which is significant for the Cowboys as an organization with the way they juggle everything as they try, I think, to get their books in order. Now, Zeke was playing, and this is a good point made by the Dallas Morning News, he was playing better in 2021 before the PCL tear. But I think that's actually a part of the entire conversation. Elliott has not been the best back in the NFL in at least 3 years, if not longer. And they're paying him like one of the best backs in the NFL. And at his workload, at his carry numbers and his usage rates, I think the injury stuff is always going to be a potential red flag. Can he get through an entire year fully healthy right now? He looks pretty quick at OTAs. But that's a valid concern given the way running backs operate in the NFL. And for the Cowboys, this running back room could look so different next year. Like Steven mentioned, Zeke may or may not be here next year. Tony Pollard is a free agent. Are we going to see him fully unleashed or not? Rico Dowdle's an RFA. So this is, in the end, going to be filed in what I call the future Tom problem. He's here. He's on this team for this year. We'll see how he plays. After the year wraps up, the Cowboys will take a look and revisit what exactly they're going to do with the Ezekiel Elliott contract. Today's presenting sponsor is Aura, an all-in-one online safety tool. They are the newest sponsor here at Chat Sports. They help protect your identity online as identity theft protection only grows as a need for Americans. More and more identity theft seemingly every year here in America. And Cowboys Report watchers get a 14-day free trial when you go over to aura.com/chatsports. I'll put that link in the comment section and in the description. Aura keeps your identity safe with extensions monitoring your personal information. It's a fantastic tool that they offer, helps prevent your information from ending up on the dark web. Because identity theft is not a joke, Jeremy. All right. And with a free trial, you can cancel at any time. There's really no reason to not try out Aura. Again, that link is aura.com/chatsports. I'll make sure it's high up in the description and in the comment section. The 14-day free trial, you can cancel anytime, makes it at least a must-try for you and your family. Let's talk injuries. And oh, look, Tyron Smith is hurt once again. He missed the media open portion of OTAs on Wednesday. Mike McCarthy said afterward, well, he was there at practice doing everything, and then right before practice began, his back tightened up on him, and they, quote-unquote, just played it smart with Tyron Smith. Now, on one hand, it's only May, and you don't have to freak out about that type of injury. They'll always be super cautious. However, when it is Tyron Smith and his back and or his neck, and it's always something on that side for Smith, that should raise some red flags. I'm not saying, oh my God, he's never going to play again, but you can dig it to the bank that Tyron Smith will not play in all 17 games this year because he doesn't play in every game. Over the last 6 years, Tyron Smith has missed at least 3 games. 6 last season, almost all of 2020, 3 games apiece in 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016. So the Cowboys know he's just going to have to battle some stuff. So it is a red flag when, oh God, it's May and already the back's causing issues. Now you're going to put him in bubble wrap either way, but it's like, well, shoot, right? That's not what you want to hear in May. You want to hear best shape of life for Tyron. Back tightness in late May is not best shape of life for Tyron Smith. It's also a red flag when your swing tackles or options swing tackle and Josh Ball and Matt Willets have a combined total of 0 total snaps in the NFL. It's just something the Cowboys know they have to be aware of and potentially deal with as well. So I want you guys to make your predictions here. How many games will Tyron Smith end up playing in 2022? I doubt it's all 17 regular season games, but I want to hear from you guys. Make your predictions right now. If you haven't already, while you're commenting, make sure you guys are subscribed for free daily Dallas Cowboys videos. That way you don't miss out on anything here at the Cowboys Report. In fact, I do owe some shout-outs, by the way, to Dallas vs. Patriot, DC for Life, Freddie Reed, and Edwin Singleton. Earlier last week, we asked you guys about to comment the record amount on the Cowboys Report on our last live show. We did that too, actually. I got to a lot of them, but I did miss a couple, so these guys called me out on it. Thank you for doing so. Here's your shout-out as promised. Let's hit some more injury notes here. These ones less concerning than Tyron Smith, I would say. Jalen Tolbert reportedly has a hamstring strain. He was working on the cords with Britt Brown at the OTA practice on Wednesday. McCarthy expects him back next week. I hope that ends up being the case. James Washington, meanwhile, allegedly has some tendonitis in his left foot, which, again, I don't love that in May. It's not ideal. He is not expected back next week, but in theory should be back in time for the actual mini camp, which is further down the road for the Cowboys. That left at OTAs CeeDee Lamb and Simi Fehoko as your top 2 receivers, which, to be clear, is great for Fehoko to get those reps. It's not good for the organization to be banking on receiver 1 and receiver 5 as your top 2 guys. It's not quite the ideal outcome. We're actually going to spend some more time here on CeeDee Lamb, but first, I want you guys to grade the Cowboys wide receiver core right now. A, B, C, D, or F. Grade that Cowboys receiving core right now. Let's get into best shape of life season, folks. SZN, it is here as CeeDee Lamb, Neville Gallimore, and Dak Prescott in various capacities have all said they are in the best shape of their life. So, you know what? I am too. Producer Jeremy's in the best shape of life. Because the best part of best shape of life season is that no matter how true it is, you are in the best shape of your life. So if you are also a member of Best Shape of Life SZN right now, type me in the comments section. If you've added 15 pounds of not muscle over the past 6 months, that's okay. You are still in the best shape of your life. So flood the comments section with some me's as we break down the best shape of life details for those 3 players. We're going to begin with CeeDee Lamb, and I think this might just take the cake for my favorite best shape of life moment. Not only has CeeDee Lamb, who is still skinny as hell, and it's fine, claimed he added 10 pounds of muscle, he grew a ½ inch this offseason. Where's a good question, Jeremy? I would assume in his legs or something. 23-year-old CeeDee Lamb growing a ½ inch? Okay, sure. Neville Gallimore, meanwhile, has added 16 pounds of pure muscle. Okay, sure you have. Meanwhile, Dak Prescott says, after an off-season surgery, this is the healthiest he's ever been. I hope that one's true in particular because the Cowboys need him out there. But it never ceases to amaze me how often and frequently players say, yes, I am in the best shape of their life. Then they'll come back and say the very next year, I'm even better now. I'm 35 years old. Best shape of life. Okay, sure you are, guys.